Hey, Brad. Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Araceli. And as you know, I'm here in the channel Build Wealth with Araceli. Everything about real estate investing across the border in Canada or in the US. I'm here with Brad Beauchamp, and he is a mortgage broker. But the one thing that is very unique about him is that he is Canadian, but he's also doing mortgages in the US. Brad, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what is the difference between you and other mortgage brokers?
Um, Thank you, Araceli, for having me on your podcast. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm just to tell you a little bit of background about myself. I'm actually a dual citizen. I just got my U.S. citizenship 3 weeks ago
Nice.
in West Palm Beach, so I'm excited about that. And I've been working on it for 5 years. But I'm a Canadian. I live in Toronto, and basically, 90% of my loans are for Canadians investing in the United States. So I've been through the visa process. I had a work visa for 4 years. I had a green card for 8 years, and now I'm a US citizen. And I've done all of the paperwork and everything. I've had all of the issues regarding banking, bringing money into the US, looking at properties. My wife's a US realtor in Florida, actually. So we've
Nice.
we've owned 8 different properties in Florida, townhouses, condos, and detached houses. So the thing about me is I've been through the process that your group, your people are going through, or they want to go through.
Yeah.
So I've done everything on the legal part of it. Bank issues regarding wire transferring money over, setting up the LLCs or the entity that you might buy in like that. So I've been through that, and I understand it as being a Canadian.
Yeah.
So I think I can help you and your group with the financing. I'm not a mortgage broker in Canada, like I said. I'm only a mortgage broker. I'm a federal mortgage broker. When you hold a national license for
Yeah.
the MLS, you're licensed anywhere. You can work anywhere in the United States. And I can work for any bank. But I just happen to be working for a mortgage broker
Hmm.
time based in Pompano Beach. That's where my broker is. And
Yeah.
we have about 130, sorry, 380 mortgage brokers in our company.
Hmm.
And he is licensed in around 8 states in the US.
Well, this is very interesting because, when I talk to people that they want to invest in the US, their first question is, how am I going to qualify? How am I going to, get a mortgage to buy a property in the US? And there you are. Here's the solution, right? So tell me, what is it that a Canadian needs to do in order to buy an investment property in the US? What's the process?
I mean, this is why we're having this podcast today, because we're educating people on, they think it's really, really difficult. And in Canada, they have the stress test, as you know,
Yep.
and it's basically almost 4 times your salary. It's really, really difficult, and you need all the documents. In the United States, it's free enterprise. It's the capitalist system. They
Yeah.
have thousands of lenders, literally thousands of lenders. On my lender list that I use with the broker that I have my license with, we have 160 lenders at the moment. And of course, there's thousands of lenders, and then with each lender, they
Mhm.
have multiple products within the lender. They have everything from for fix and flip, conventional loans, FHA loans, like that. So, if we're talking specifically for Canadians that are looking, it's actually really quite easy to borrow money in the United States. People just don't realize that. I
Yeah.
can actually do an investor loan, and we don't need any FICO score, which is or credit score. Credit score would be for Canada. A FICO score would be for the US. We don't need any score at all, and we don't need any proof of income. And you would say, "Oh my God, what
Yeah.
do you mean? What do you mean no proof of income?" No, I don't actually need the income. We're going to do it a loan on the value of the property. So if you want looking at a property in Cleveland, Ohio, for example, and you say, "Okay, this is a $300,000 house. I'd like to buy this house and I have some money down. I can do it with 25% down, around 25 to 30% down. And so you can either take that money, either you have cash in the bank in Canada, or you can do it from a HELOC, which is, your line of credit on your principal residence in Canada. And you just have to show me that, and I can get you a mortgage for the rest of it, as long as the property uh, 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 comes out or the value of what we think the property is worth. And if it doesn't, that's okay. It just adjusts the ratio. That's all. But you can still get a loan for 75% of the value of the property. And the documents are just be basically two months of bank statements, proof of salary. I need to show that your principal residence in Canada. So I need a tax bill or some type of a bill saying, hey, I live here, and your name's on the bill. So we can say, okay, our investor in Toronto lives here, and this is their investment over here in Cleveland. So it's very little. You have to pay for an appraisal yourself. Appraisals now, there's two appraisals that have to be done. One is an appraisal for the value of the property, and then there's another separate appraisal, which is, I call it like a little mini appraisal, for how much does the property rent out for.
Yep.
So they'll take the rental income. This is what we think it's going to rent out for. They'll do a market analysis, and they'll give you the appraisal back. And they'll say, okay, it's going to cover what the mortgage is going to be. And then they'll give you the money. Typical closings from the whole process, when we start to finish, once they take an application, is around 3 to 4 weeks. That's it. So it's not too bad. It's not, you can close it in your own personal name or in an LLC or some type of entity.
Okay, so what do you recommend in this case for Canadians? What is your experience buying in your own name or on an LLC?
I think you should open up in a limited liability company, because there is, you can do it online. You don't have to hire a lawyer. People think, oh, it gets really complicated. It's not that complicated. Google it. You know what I mean? You can do lots of things on the internet, but there's places like Delaware. That's great for LLCs. There are people that are international foreign investors. Or I just opened one in Florida 2 weeks ago, or Texas, or Wyoming, or Nevada. These are tax-free states, and they give you extra liability coverage in case somebody wants to sue you personally. So it should be open up in a letter of credit, but you need an attorney. You don't need an attorney. You can do it right online, but you can also hire an attorney. I just hired an attorney to open up a Florida LLC, and the attorney was in Detroit, and they charged me and another guy open up the LLC around $550.
Yeah. So it depends what you want to do. I'd rather do it through an attorney, because you still have to have a registered agent. And just as a disclosure, we are no lawyers, so you need to do your own due diligence on opening it, because times change as well. When we're doing this podcast, might be true what we're saying, but it may not be by the time you are trying to do this yourself. So
I use an attorney also, and that's because they're going to do my tax returns also. So just to make it clean,
yeah,
and to get proper, I agree with you 100%, to get proper advice, use an attorney.
correct. And the thing is, you might be in a totally different state, and you may have to have something that is already set up in that state. So it is very, every state is different and it has its own rules. So it's best to talk to an attorney from the state that you're going to be buying the property. I think that's the best way, but this is just kind of a general idea that you can get yourself started. So this is actually fantastic, because one of the biggest questions that I get asked is about the financing, specifically from Canadians. Now, in your experience, and this is as an investor, right? Besides getting financing, what would you say to a Canadian that it's kind of like not sure about investing in the US?
I mean, listen, you just have to watch CTV News and all the news channels in Canada. You can see that we have some of the most difficult laws, specifically, I don't know about the other provinces, but Ontario, regarding being a landlord. You can't even get people out. I have friends of mine own many, many, many units like that. They're telling me, I have one of my friend who owns buildings in Hamilton.
Yep.
He has a tenant that owes him $29,000.
Oh my.
Yeah, like that. So you just can't get him out. You can't get an appointment to the tribunal. There's a chart that we can share on another podcast that you can bring up. I can send you, and it shows all of the states in the United States and
Mhm.
which ones are more friendly when it comes to landlord friendly states. So that's a really interesting chart that we can share on a further podcast
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
to show what states that are really there's a few states that are none of them are as hard as Ontario, I can tell you that. But I have a color coded chart that I can send you saying what state to invest in that is really investor friendly when it comes to
Mhm. Well, that would be fantastic. And that's exactly what we're going to do, Brad, in another podcast because we only have very limited time. So now how would people contact you if they are interested in investing or buying a property in the US? How do they contact you?
I'm happy to answer any questions. My email address, and I tried to do it on purpose, so it was very easy, is USA Canada Mortgages at gmail.com. And it goes right to my phone, or you can call me on my cell phone at 416-587-1664. And I also have a new website that I just finished last night, actually,
Hmm.
called usacanadamortgages.com. That'll go on there. You can do an application directly from the website.
Awesome. And we're going to be putting all of these for you so you can just copy it from the comments if you do want to contact Brad. And actually, I have been speaking to Brad a few times. He is helping me now to get um, a mortgage, and the process has been really easy. So if you have a question, and of course, if you are part of my group that is invested in the US, of course, you're going to meet Brad and going through the process with him. So for now, for today, this is all we have to share. So if you do have any questions, please make sure that you comment or you can contact Brad directly if you are ready to buy. And if you're looking to, you don't know where to invest, please contact me and see if it is a good fit for you to start your investment path in the Cleveland area like I do. So thank you so much, Brad, for being here, and I will see you in the next one for sure.
Bye, everybody. Hope to see you soon.
Bye.